Alright, it's the start of round 3. My opponent is taking his open hand. I obviously keep because I'm a savage. He looks at his hand. I think he mulligans to 6. Yeah, he mulliganed to 6 this game. He decides to be on the play because he won the die roll. He draws, plays a Glade Cover Scout. Turn 1, I lay, land, go. Turn 2, he gives the instant that gives +2/+4 in the end turn. It's not an enchantment, so I go ahead and put it in the graveyard for him. I draw, I play a second land, say go. He draws for his turn. I'm thinking he's just probably playing like a green-white, good like bait and beaters deck, especially if he's playing the scout. He drops his third land, goes ahead and plays a Brindleboar, the old reliable, and passes the turn. And forgot to attack for one, as he tells me right there. He's like, man, I probably should have just attacked for one. I play the 2/2 Death Toucher and pass the turn. He draws for his turn, plays his fourth land, and thinks some more. And he goes ahead and passes the turn. I draw, I play my fifth land, draw into Doomblade, leaving my hand with, I think, 2 removal spells at least. But I can't target the Glade Cover Scout, and I don't want to waste a removal spell on Brindleboar because he would just sack the game for life. So I go ahead and play Mystic Elf because if he wants to attack with his Glade Cover Scout, I'll just block. Just to either get a card out of his hand or just to trade with the Hexproof creature. He draws for the turn, looks at his hand, and goes ahead and plays Congregate. Which is instant, used to be a card from Saga. You gain 2 life for each creature in play, so he gains 8 life. I draw for the turn, play my land, attack for 2, and I think I just say go. I think my hand is nothing but removal spells and land, so I don't want to use any removal spells on any of these guys, so as long as I can attack from for 2 and he doesn't really do anything, it's fine. He attacks me for 2 back, so we can just kind of trade life totals until I draw some monsters. Attack for 2, say, play my 4/4 I just drew for the turn, and pass the turn. I have Doomblade in my hand, so if there's a real threat that comes out, I can play that at instant speed at the end of his turn if necessary. If not, I think I have a Quag Sickness to be able to kill most of his other guys. Draw my card for the turn, play yet another land, and I think we just attack for 6. He plays the Celestial Flare, which is like a mini wing shards. It sacks a attacking or target player sacks an attacking or blocking creature. So he just makes me sack a guy. I decided to sack my flyer because I just want to get in for more damage. He attacks me for 2. And goes ahead and passes turn black. I'm thinking like his hand must be pretty bad. He has at 6 land. He's only cast 2 creatures and 3 white instant spells. So I really don't know what's in his hand. I didn't want to get blown out with a second Celestial Flare, so I just didn't attack. He plays Trading Post, which I'm a little confused about, but I guess it's perfectly fine. You get to make goats for chump blockers, or make any extra lands you draw into 4 life. So I draw yet another land and play it, because we need 1,000,000 mana against this field. He plays yet another land. He looks back at his hand, and he goes ahead and discards during his main phase a Renflesh that he drew, which makes me kind of odd. I was like, oh, there's a black card, and he just has a bunch of force in play, so obviously he's not getting the right color mana that he needs. I draw the old Fire Shrieker, equip, and pass the turn. I still don't want to get blown up by Celestial Flare, so I just because I don't have any more creatures in my hand. It's not worth losing my Land of War Elf to do some damage to him that won't kill him. And then after that point, if I just don't draw another guy, there's no way I can actually get in for more damage. That's why the play seems kind of odd. He draws for the turn. He activates Train Post again to gain 4 more life, this time discarding a Quag Sickness, making me yet even more confused as he just has a bunch of planes of force to play.
Obviously, the black cards are doing.
I go ahead and draw for the turn. We draw the guy you can sack to get a animate dead back. I go ahead and just use it to get back my 2/2 flyer, play it and say go. Next turn I'll be able to just equip my fire shrieker to attack with both. So if he has another celestial flare, which I'm trying to play around, I'll at least be able to get in for damage or trade off with some of his creatures. He draws a swamp, finally, but then chooses to activate his trading post to pay 1 life to make a goat token. So he does that, and I think he just passes the turn back. That play signifies I don't think he has anything in his hand, and he's just looking to chump block now at this point. I draw a Verdant Haven right on time with our 1,000,000 mana sources in play. Go ahead and play it, gain 2 life. Go ahead and play Mark of the Vampire, and I'm going to make it a 4/4 flyer with lifelink. Equip the Fire Shrieker to it, and go ahead and attack with both. We get in for 8 damage, gaining 8 life, and we kill his goat token. Pretty good turn for us, and we go ahead and pass the turn back to him. He still hasn't really played anything this game. He just kind of played the 2 creatures that are in play and train post to discard a bunch of cards to gain life. His mana was just not correct for this entire game to be able to cast the good black spells he had in his hand. I think he just passes the turn back here. He might activate his trading post to get our goat token. I'm hesitant to think what the play is. So he just activates his trading post, making our goat. So pretty much telling me that he doesn't really have anything in his hand. And he just wants to pay 1 life to save the 4 damage from my 4/4.
How many lands do you
And
have?
he passes the turn back. We untap, draw. Yet another land right on time. Just go ahead and attack again. He thinks for a moment. He plays Savage Summoning, which is like Scout's Warning, but it adds a counter to it, and I think it makes it uncountable. He goes ahead and puts a Festering Newt into play, which is the new Festering Goblin type card. When it dies, it gives something -1/-1. But if you control the Bog Witch, one of the cards I opened in my seal pool, it gives -4/-4 instead. He just draws another land for the turn and concedes to our 4/4 double striker. Alright, and we're on to game 2. We both shuffle up, take our 7. He decides he wants to play first again. I'm perfectly fine with that. With this deck, I just want to be on the draw because we need to make our land drops and be able to play our 5 drops. And we have enough removal to make sure we don't lose too bad in the early game. He decides to keep, and he goes turn 1, plays a guy. He taps to gain 1 life. I decided to Rin Flesh it just to be able to clean the board up and just not have the game go way too long and for him just to have a guy gaining life every turn. I play a Deadly Recluse, say go. He draws, plays yet another land for the turn, and says go. Draw, be able to get in for 1. No Savage Summoning tricks this time. And play the old powerful Root Wallow. He draws, plays a land for the turn. And he plays a main phase Briarwood Alpha, which is a 3/3 that has flash. And when he comes in play, gives a creature +2/+2. So if he would have sat on it for a turn, he could have played on my turn and completely blown out my Root Wallow by making itself a 5/5 and blocking. Instead, he just wanted to play main phase. I attack. I don't pump the Root Wallow because I just want to get another 4/4 into play. and I pass the turn back. Plays another land for his turn.
Divine Favor.
And he plays Divine Favor, giving his creature +1/+3 and gaining 3 life, making it a 4/6. And he decides he wants to attack for 4. Probably not the best choice right now since I have more power in play and I'm able to race him pretty well with what I have. I draw another Mark of the Vampire, so I put on my guy and get in for 9 damage and gain 6 life.
Go ahead.
We pass the turn back.
You gotta be kidding me.
Draws for his turn. He plays another Soulbender, I believe the guy's name is. No, he decides, nah, that's probably not good enough. He decides to Savage Summon it, which I let him do, making it a 2/2. And pass his turn back. Alright, we draw for a turn. We just have 4 lands in play. And I don't want to get blown up by a Celestial Flare, so I don't believe I attack this turn. Instead, I'm just trying to draw my 5th land so I'd be able to play the Lignify Blood I have in my hand. So I just play another Dead Recluse, there you go. Just make some more guys and eventually be able to just alpha attack to be able to take him out.
Congregate.
Instead he plays Congregate again, gaining 12 life, making my plan of finishing him off quickly take even longer. Just play my Fire Shrieker, there you go. Still stuck on 4 mana. But he hasn't drawn any swamps, so that's pretty good. I'm assuming he has some black cards in his hand he's not able to cast, since that's what happened in the first game. Draw another 5-drop that we can't cast. Decide we're just gonna equip our Fire Shrieker and leave Root Water mana up and attack with these guys. He decides he doesn't want to block, and he takes 14 damage because our 6 power guy has double strike and then 2 from the 2 Deadly Recluses. And just pass the turn back. Draws for the turn. Plays a card. I'm not quite sure what it is. Draw for a turn. Play our 5th land. We're able to kill his guy.
Destroy target creature and I gain 3 black mana.
Yep. And then with the 3 mana, able to Quag Sickness his other guy to death and attack him for lethal. And
Yeah.
I believe that is the game, or close to it. He gained a bunch of life off Congregate, so I think he's down to like 3 or 4. He draws another black card for turn he can't play and concedes the game. And that's the end of our pre-release. I went undefeated and didn't lose a single game. So, hooray me.